Hi everyone, welcome to DestinyStuff.com. In this video we're going to talk about ways to prepare for the April update. So in next week's update, Bungie is going to give us some new gear and some new things to do. And the video is going to concentrate on things you can do to make sure you can get that gear as soon as possible. So first things first, that new gear. And one of the best ways to get hold of the new gear as soon as possible is to keep hold of all the engrams that drop for you. As they did in the December update, engrams that you decrypt after April are likely to decrypt into newer exotics that just drop. And there's about 12 exotics or so, some armor, some weapons. And these exotics are going to drop at new light levels. So keep hold of those engrams in the vault, on your character, in the postmaster, wherever it is, but don't decrypt them until April the 12th. And then for the hardcore amongst you, if you want to make maximum use of those engrams, you might want to wait until you pass 320 light, because once you do, they're likely to drop at a higher light level. And speaking of 320 light, if you've got any 320 items floating around in the same places as your engrams, hang on to them, because if you infuse them today, you have to suffer the standard Bungie infuse calculation, which takes away some of the light that you have. So 320 items after April 12th will have a 1-to-1 correlation. So that means if you take something that's 320 and you put it on something that's 200, you'll get a 320 item out of that. So next on the list is consumables and materials, and that's a pretty obvious one. But most significantly, motes of light. Motes of light are going to make a big difference. Weapons parts are going to be useful for ranking up your items once you get them. And obviously all the other planetary materials as well. But the key one is motes of light, because after the update you're going to be able to rank up the factions with motes of light, and if you have a bunch of them lying around, that'll be a quick process. And also runes for the Court of Oryx, because Court of Oryx is going to be a new endgame activity and is going to produce drops up to 335 light. And so having those engrams lying around, having those runes lying around, is going to be really beneficial once that happens. Next is for glimmer and legendary marks, and the way I keep my glimmer high is to always make sure I'm equipping a ghost which has the reward of giving you glimmer when you shoot an enemy of a certain type, so Vex or Cabal or whatever. And that, if you keep that on appropriate for your mission, you'll always find you have a high amount of glimmer. And then as you reach 25,000, as you're close to the 25,000 cap, just pop over to the gunsmith and buy some weapons parts. And that way you've always got plenty of weapons parts and you're always keeping your glimmer high. I only normally buy 4 or 5 just to give myself some room so that the next time I go on a mission, I'm not wasting any glimmer because I'm hitting the cap. And when it comes to vendors, obviously all vendors will give you a reward package every time you rank up. So before the update, try and get your rank on all of the vendors as close as possible to ranking up, but kind of leave it with enough space to hand in a bounty or hand in a couple of motes of light or whatever. And then that way, when the update hits on April the 12th, all you need to do is run to all the vendors, hand in a single bounty or do a quick one. Hand in a couple of motes of light or some of the other planetary materials, and you'll rank up and you'll get a reward package. And chances are that reward package will contain something new that you wouldn't have before the update. And last time I did this in the December update, I ran around the first half an hour of the game and got tons of weapons and armor from the vendors. Of course, once you have ranked up with a vendor, you can still spam them by giving them all the planetary materials, motes of light, etc., and rank up a number of times if you have a good sized stash. And if you do that, don't forget that some vendors do have items that you can use to boost your rep. So for instance, with the faction vendors, if you get to level 25, they have a class item that you can wear that gives you 10% more reputation when you hand in something. So don't forget to put that on before you hand over 100, 200 motes of light, and that'll speed up your ranking with them. And if it's too much of a pain to build up a stash of materials, you can always buy them from the quartermaster, and don't forget that you can hand in legendary marks in exchange for planetary materials. And speaking of legendary marks, obviously when you go into the April update, you want to have as many legendary marks as you can carry, and the cap is at 200. And once you reach the cap, you want to make sure that you don't dismantle any legendaries or do any activities that generate legendary marks. If you've hit the cap, do the same as you did with the Glimmer, and buy some planetary materials. And then when you hit the cap again, buy some more planetary materials, and then your stash will build up, and then you can use those for reputation or weapon and armor upgrades when the new gear is available. And finally, if you have legendary weapons or armor lying around, don't get rid of them right now. Wait until after the update if you have the room, and then they'll translate into legendary marks, and then you'll have more legendary marks to spend for infusing and purchasing new weapons and so on after the update. And that's all I had for this video. Hope it was useful to you, and see you all soon.